Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Dose of Truth Tarot. This is the week of, um, it's September 5th to September 11th. So let's see what's going to go on. I'm going to use oops, I've got some extra cards there. Use a regular tarot deck with giant cards, and let's see what is in store for us energetically. And let's say, what are the pitfalls we need to look out for, and what are some of the opportunities? I like this question because it always helps me, figure out what my week's about. So I'm going to randomly select. So if you look, I've got the cards out like this. Let's move my little mouse. And I'm just looking around going, all right, so what would be our pitfalls? Let's start with pitfalls. So pitfalls may or may not be the abundance and the Holy Trinity, the alchemy of situations. So, of situations, things that we want, events. So, when things are coming together in the Holy Triad, one of the pitfalls is we might not be looking at it as a sacred space. We might not. Um, well, I guess a better way to look at it would be instead um, of just doing the thing that we're doing, we can have a greater focus on intention. We can state very clearly the intention that we do have and to respect that moment as a sacred space. Now, people do this differently. There's a guy I listen to is Scott Adams. I love Scott Adams. He's the Dilbert comic creator. He just has an engineering approach to everything that I do here. I always thought I was a bit scientific in the way I approach cards and all these things that I do. And he just really extrapolates some of my ideas and how I formulated ways in which I read tarot, understand the imagery that's coming at us in any given moment. So one of the things he brought up was, we say, like in the quote unquote, this terminology I do not like, which is spiritual world. In the spiritual world, and I always find that arrogant, dismissive, and just closed-minded. I think that we're in a space where whatever the Matrix is doing, and I'm not just, it's before the movie The Matrix that we looked at Matrix, because there's a matrix of when you think of nature, there's matrices in nature. We look at mathematical matrices, all that kind of thing. So the matrix, the configuration, I always looked at everything as a configuration. And then I can stick my finger into the configuration. That's very much matrix-like, but I can go in and say, well, why don't I rewire that? Why don't I could rewire my brain. I could rewire my intentions. I could just send those intentions out there. And why not? Why wouldn't that happen? I've had a lot of proof that these things occur. I've had a lot of proof of the predictions of the future. And, I don't know the percentages that I have been correct or incorrect, but I have enough proof that some random, ridiculous predictions that I've made come true. And I go, why would that be? And it's not a 50-50 chance that those things can come true because there are a lot of details like age, time, sex of the children being born. So one person, it was the person's age, what sex of children they were going to have, whether they were twins or not, and along with the year. So that's quite a few variables in there to predict randomly to a random stranger. I always find those really odd. They surprise me. I'm still quite surprised by reading the future, because if I read the future based on the probabilities of what someone's going to do, because I can figure out let's say there's an unconscious aspect of me, unconscious, subconscious. I'm picking up cues and clues as to someone's behavior, someone's attitudes, someone's beliefs, that pretty much if you look down the road, you can predict what they're going to do. If somebody is closed, I can pretty much predict that they're going to remain closed. If someone is not open to relationship, you can pretty much predict they're not going to open up to relationship. So, usually I flub up on those predictions because I tend to want to tell someone something that could help them open up, even though the cards and the variables I see, what I'm seeing in the individual, doesn't show that they're going to have a relationship. But why not try and help and support the change, the transition, because there's the possibility of change. Though we never have any control over that change in any case, but hopefully we can. So when we go back to this three of coins, this is the physical world manifesting abundance. I asked, what will be our pitfalls? We could say the pitfall is abundance, but I would say it's the triad. The manifesting of that abundance is really what the problem is, because three is about building and growth. So that growth that can occur, bringing the Holy Trinity together, that's going to be our difficulty. So it would be advisable to make your intentions very, very clear. Make them clear. One. Two, live as though that intention is happening. Don't say, like a lot of people say, I am going to manifest this, that, or the other thing. You can't do that because that means you're leaving it to the future. You're saying the thing that you want. Let's say you want to be an actress or an actor, excuse me. So you say, I am an actor. I am a working actor. I am a high paid actor. I am a famous, if you want fame. And remember, each thing that you put together brings different challenges, like being an actor and getting jobs and working. I've known a lot of actors who do that really well. And I've known some actors who have become famous, from not being famous at all to becoming super famous. So it's really just saying exactly what you want and live as though you have it. If you ask for something, let's say you say, I would like to be a famous actor. That's in the future, so that's not going to work very well. But some people do that and they add another corollary. They say, how's it going to happen? You've really canceled everything out. So watch your words. Those things are part of the alchemy of manifestation. So as I was saying, Scott Adams does author mode. He says author mode as though he's talking to the computer program. He's alone, so you can do this too. You're alone in your room. You say author mode, and then you state what you want. Or you state, the other one that my favorite one is universe, I command you, or God, I command you. For me, those things represent the same metaphor. Universe, God, author mode, the vertical where there's no time or space, so everything is occurring in the moment. It's just a command. Why do we make it a command? Because commands stop you, right? So when you kind of beg someone for something, or you're kind of asking but not sure, you often get responses you don't want. So when you say something to someone, especially if they're in danger, that's a good one, a good example. When someone's in danger, you say, "Stop now, stop." That's a great way to get them to stop, because it's a command. But if you say, "You should be stopping, stop," they're going to get confused. The brain's not registering it. So I would do the same thing, and all of those come true. When I've got a really strong statement, I say, I command you, God, to give me perfect health. I command you, God, to pay this bill. I don't have the wherewithal. Pay this bill. When I'm really certain and I'm commanding, it's not demanding, it's a command. That really works. So those things are little helpful hints on how to deal with that. So now, what are the opportunities? So the opportunity is this is 9 of coins. So we've got another coin picked at random. This one is going, let me put it that way. So this one is going to be an offshoot from the three. So, meaning, if you're doing these things appropriately, if you're clear, you're stating the alchemy properly. Sorry, there's a dog outside. And Bird got scared. Don't be scared, baby. It's just a neighbor's dog. It's okay. And then you will have gain this week. So there's opportunities all over the place for gain. And if we look at the three as alchemy, state what it is you want, and you'll probably manifest most of those things. I was going to go on and do a third question, but I'm going to leave this because it's absolutely gorgeous for this week. And yeah, enjoy that. I'm going to do some of these commands or author mode as as a project for the weekend. Okay. Have a good one. Bye.